Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Nafisa Rashid, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmacology, Ad-Din Women's Medical College. Welcome to our online session. Our today's topic is absorption of drug. So, let's get started. At first, you have to know what is absorption of drug or what is the definition of it. It is the process by which the drug crosses the biological membrane from its site of administration and reaches the systemic circulation. Here 3 points is important. Number 1, biological membrane. Number 2, from site of administration, and number 3, systemic circulation. That means a drug goes from site of administration, whatever may be the site. It may be oral, it may be inhalational route through lungs, it may be rectal, it may be IV or IM, but the drugs have to reach to the systemic circulation. And another factor is important, that is it must cross the biological membrane. Then what is the biological membrane? Biological membrane is a lipid bilayer, such as example is all the cell membranes are biological membrane. It consists of lipid bilayer with protein layer. When we take a drug as medication, the tablets like paracetamol or aspirin, whatever may be, at first the drugs becomes smaller in size, that is granules, and then it again is broken and forms smaller particles. Then it mixes up with the solution of the gastric juice and enters into the systemic circulation. This is the normal phenomenon of a solid form of drug of absorption. Now, what are the process of drug? The process of absorption can be classified into 2 types. Number 1, simple, and number 2 is specialized. The simple process is also named as passive transport. It can be classified into 2 types. Number 1, simple diffusion, and number 2, filtration. And specialized transport can be classified into 3 types. Number 1, active transport, number 2, facilitated diffusion, and number 3, it is endocytosis, which can be classified into 2 types again, which is pinocytosis and phagocytosis. Now I will discuss the process. Simple diffusion. Simple diffusion, 70% drugs cross the biological membrane through this process. It is a simple process, it is a very common process, and energy and carrier is not needed. It is bidirectional and slow process, temperature can modify it, and no selectivity and saturability occurs. It is the definition you can say like this: the transfer of drug from one compartment to another compartment along the concentration gradient or pressure gradient, and without the help of energy or carrier, is called simple diffusion. What are the example? Most of the drugs uses this type of crossing process, like aspirin, morphine, paracetamol, barbiturate, and also glucose in liver. Now, the second point is filtration. Filtration is the process by which the fluid is filtered from the rest of the fluid through a filtering membrane and by a filtering pressure. It requires no energy. The factors are the downhill gradient, filtration pressure, size of the drug, and pore of the membrane. Urea ethylene glycol is the example of filtration of absorption. The filtration is normally visible in our kidney, in glomerulus. This is the normal process in our body. Now, the another point is active transport. It is a energy requiring carrier mediated uphill transport against the concentration gradient. This is called the active transport. Now, what are the features? This process is very rapid process but uncommon than simple diffusion. Energy is required, carrier is needed, and shows selectivity and saturability. It is competitive in nature. What are the sites of active transport? Neuronal membrane in our brain, choroid plexus, hepatocytes, renal tubular cells, etc. are the site of active transport. Then what are the drugs crosses through active transport? Number 1, streptomycin, alpha-methyl dopa, levodopa, and glucose in kidney and GIT. You have to memorize it, especially glucose in kidney, in GIT, in adipose tissue, in muscle tissue, and also in liver, because these are thoroughly asked in the examination. Now, facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion is facilitated by carrier. You can memorize it that this type of simple diffusion, when facilitated by carrier, is called facilitated diffusion. What are the features? Number one, it is carrier is needed, shows selectivity and saturability. It requires no energy, and the speed is medium, that is slower than the active transport but rapid than the simple transport. Downhole process occurs. Then example is tetracycline, pyrimidine, glucose in muscle, adipose tissue, and also RBC. Now the last one is endocytosis. Endocytosis can be classified into two types. Number one, pinocytosis and phagocytosis. Pinocytosis also called cell drinking, and phagocytosis also called cell eating. The features are it requires calcium, it requires the contractile elements, and also energy. Aminoglycoside, insulin, these types of drugs use this endocytosis process. Now, factors modifying drug absorption. This is a very important written question and also for the Viva. Factors modifying drug absorption, we can memorize it by remembering the 2 points. Number one, some factors are related to drug and some factors are related to patient. Then what are the factors related to drug? Lipid solubility of the drug, size of the drug, degree of ionization, presence of second drug, formulation of drug, concentration of drug. Now I am explaining the topics. Number one, lipid solubility of the drug. When a drug is more lipid soluble, it is more absorption occurs, and less lipid soluble, less absorption. On the other hand, water soluble drug is less absorption, and more water soluble is less absorption, and less water soluble is more absorption. Size of the drug. In case of lipid solubility, size is not a factor, but in case of water solubility, if the size of the drug is smaller, it will more absorption, but size of the drug is larger, then it is less absorption. Then degree of ionization. Ionization means breakdown. If the drug is more ionized, it is more water soluble and less absorption, more excretion. And if the drug is less ionization occurs, then it is more lipid soluble and it readily crosses the cell membrane and more lipid solubility, more absorption also. Presence of second drug. If we take more than 2 or 3 drugs at a time, there is some problem. It may enhance the absorption of other drug or may hampers the absorption of other drug. Like example is iron, when consumed with vitamin C, the absorption is increased. But when tetracycline, you know it is an antibiotic, if it is taken with antacid, then absorption is less. So you have to advise the patient and you can memorize that. You have to say that when you take these 2 types of drugs like tetracycline and antacid, the absorption may be incomplete and there may be chelation of the drug and absorption is hampered. Now, formulation of drug. We know that there is 3 forms of drug like solid, liquid and gaseous. Gaseous drugs are readily absorbable than the solid. Then liquid is absorbed and then solid. Solid drugs, among the 3 types of drugs, solid drugs takes more time for absorption. Liquid drugs easily absorbed through the cell membrane, and gaseous, it is the fastest of the absorption. Now, concentration of the drug. If the concentration of drug is increased, there is more absorption, and concentration if decreased, there is less absorption. These are the factors related to the drug. Now I will discuss the factors related to the patient. pH of the environment, vascularity, peristaltic movement, GIT disease, area of absorption and presence of food in the gut. These are the factors related to the patient. Now what is the pH of the environment? If we take acidic drug, our stomach is acidic. Then it goes to the stomach, and acidic drug in acidic media, there is no ionization and more absorption of the drug. That means if we take an acidic drug, it will readily absorb in the stomach, but when it goes to the duodenum, it is ionized and the process is slowed. But again, area of absorption is an important factor. If the absorption area is very large, then absorption is more, and if the area is small, then absorption is less. So in stomach is less absorption area than the duodenum. So the absorption of drug is more in the small intestine than the stomach. Now, vascularity of the drug. Vascularity is an important factor because if there is more blood supply in an organ, then the absorption process is increased, and if there is less vascular organ, then absorption process is decreased. Like if we administer a drug through subcutaneous route, the absorption is decreased because there is less vascular area. Subcutaneous route is chosen when we want slow and sustained action, such as insulin. Insulin is given in this route for this type of action, slow and sustained. On the other hand, intramuscular route is more vascular, so it is more faster than subcutaneous, and the fastest route is IV. Here, if the drug is given through IV route, it directly enters into the systemic circulation. So this is the fastest route. Now, peristaltic movement. We know there is always peristaltic movement in our GI tract, and it is very important for our digestion. Peristaltic movement is also important for this absorption because through peristalsis the drugs are disintegrated and dissolution occurs with the gastric juice and absorption process is increased. But if the peristaltic movement is too much, like in diarrhea, the absorption process is hampered. On the other hand, in case of constipation, peristaltic movement is decreased, and there is also hampered of the absorption process. So optimum peristaltic movement is required for optimum absorption. Now, GIT disease. All patients are not same. Some patients may with the chronic GIT disease like Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, tropical sprue, this type of disease may hamper the absorption of drug. Presence of food in the gut. Some types of drug hampers, absorption is hampered through by the presence of food like griseofulvin or riboflavin, propranolol. This type of food can be taken during meal because food does not hampers. It enhances the absorption of this type of drug. On the other hand, ampicillin, tetracycline, this type of drug should be taken in empty stomach because food hampers their absorption. Again, aspirin is a drug which is a very irritating drug of the stomach, so this type of drug should be taken after meal and with gastric acid, with antacid or with omeprazole, seclo, whatever it be. This is the topics of today. Hope you have enjoyed the class, and this will be helpful for your upcoming prof examination. So thank you. Assalamu alaikum.